ونسلم على النبي الكريم وبعد. The Prophet ﷺ's character towards his neighbors. One of the narrators we have, his name is Amr. He narrates from his father Shu'aib. It's a very popular narration. MashaAllah, the whole family were hadith narrators. It's very rare. Normally you get one person from the family. For example, Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah ta'ala, we only know Imam al-Bukhari. We don't know anything else about his children. But this is the family that everybody narrates hadith. An Amr ibn Shu'aib, an Abihi and Jaddihi. If you read any hadith book, you'll find Amr narrates from Shu'aib, who narrates from his father, who narrates from his grandfather. His great-grandfather was Amr ibn al-As. And this is the Sahabi of the Prophet ﷺ. And his son was Abdullah. He used to write everything, every time the Prophet of Allah should say something, a hadith, he should write it down. Abu Hurairah used to say that Abdullah bin Amr knows more hadith than me. Because كَانَ يَكْتُبْ وَكُنْتُ لَا أَكْتُبْ. Because he used to write. So from this we learn that writing hadith started right from the time of Rasulullah ﷺ. So don't listen to these Orientalists. They say hadith was written 300 years later on. Okay, they don't know nothing what they're talking about. They have an evil intention. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day. So the hadith comes from Amr ibn Shu'aib. He narrates that in his family, in the family of Abdullah ibn Amr, someone slaughtered a sheep. And then when they were gathering all the meat, he was so adamant saying that, have you sent a portion to our Jewish neighbor? Have you sent a portion to our Jewish neighbor? And keep on saying that. They're like, Sheikh, wait, let us like, so, he goes, have you sent it quickly? One portion has to go to our Jewish neighbor. And then he said, because the Prophet ﷺ said, ما زال جبريل يوصيني بالجار حتى ظننته أنه سيورثه. He said, Jibril continually, Jibril kept on reminding me again and again. The Prophet ﷺ said, that Jibril kept on reminding me again and again about the neighbor's right. Until I thought that maybe the Prophet of Allah ﷺ, he said that he thought that Jibril will say that Allah has said that your neighbor, they have a portion in the inheritance. Can you imagine, the Prophet ﷺ teaching us that be very mindful of your neighbors, treat them nicely. The Prophet of Allah thought, Jibril always told me that I thought that when someone passes away, they have to leave enough share for their children, but they have to have a portion of share for their neighbors as well. The Prophet ﷺ said, Wallahi la yu'min, Wallahi la yu'min, Wallahi la yu'min 3 times. By Allah, he is not a believer. By Allah, he is not a believer. By Allah, he is not a believer. By the time he said that, everybody's attention, the Prophet of Allah captivated the mind of everybody, saying that, who, O Prophet of Allah? Who is that person who is not a believer? He said that, مَنْ لَا يَأْمَنُ جَارُهُ بَوَائِقًا. That his neighbors, they don't feel safe from the evil of the other persons. That his neighbor doesn't feel safe. He feels that he's always making noise, he's always, in our time, always parking in the wrong area, blocking my driveway, or making so much noise, can't even sleep. The Prophet of Allah said, believers are those that the neighbors, they are happy that, the person that we have, our next door neighbor, or our neighbors are actually a good people. We have to behave like this. Subhanallah, that's how the Prophet of Allah was always telling us. He also said in another hadith that he is not a believer, that he goes to sleep with full stomach whilst his neighbor is going to sleep in hunger. The Prophet of Allah said, this is not a sign of a good believer. When you read all the hadith of the rights of neighbors, I'm just thinking, imagine what kind of environment the Prophet of Allah created in Medina, subhanallah. Because Rasulullah ﷺ used to always encourage, be nice to your neighbors. In the olden days, people used to boast. The Arabs, it was the culture of the Arabs. They used to say that, وَمَا ضَرَّنَا أَنَّ قَلِيلٌ وَجَارُنَا عَزِيزٌ وَجَارُ الْأَكْثَرِينَ ذَلِيلٌ. One of the Arab poets, he says that, people say that, تُعَيِّرُنَا أَنَّا قَلِيلٌ عَدِيدُنَا فَقُلْتُ لَهَا إِنَّ الْكِرَامَ قَلِيلٌ. Because my wife always taunted me that who have I married into? My tribe is big tribe. I've come from a big village, big town. But your numbers are very small. So I said to her, look, first of all, I'm from a good family. And secondly, وَمَا ضَرَّنَا أَنَّ قَلِيلٌ وَجَارُنَا عَزِيزٌ. So what? That my khandan, my family members, we're very small in number. We have good neighbors. Go speak to us about go to our neighbors and speak to them about us. They will say that we are the people of virtues. We are the people of shahama and muru'ah. We are the people that we have good conducts and manners. Everybody knows us. And that's how people are recognized. Subhanallah, the Prophet of Allah created that kind of environment in Medina, that everybody loved to be the neighbors of the Muslim. The Jews, they used to buy a house to be neighbor of a Muslim. That's how it was at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They travel far and far away to be neighbors of the Muslim. The Jews and the Christian, they want to be the neighbors of the Muslim. Why? Because they know these are the people, they look after us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was addressing the women. He said, Ya nisa al-muslimat, Ya nisa al-muslimat, la tahqiranna jaratun li jaratiha. O women of the Muslim, O Muslim women, never belittle any gift you give to your neighbor. Subhanallah, this is the beautiful time now, the month of Ramadan. We have so many neighbors. By the way, the definition of neighbors in Islam is different. It's not your right and left. Hassan al-Basri said 40 houses on your right, 40 houses on your left, 40 houses in front of you, and 40 houses behind you. This is the definition of neighbor, jar. Okay, but if you can't do all of that's like the whole street to some of us, right? If you can't look after all of the neighbors, what we could do, inshallah ta'ala, start with the immediate right and the left, So when you make some samosas, keep 3 samosas on the side, 3 pakoras on the side, a little bit of biryani on the side, and give, we got, alhamdulillah, 20 more days to go for Ramadan. Every day, try different neighbor, give a little. It's not going to make any difference in your iftar because, mashallah, we make plenty. Because some of us, mashallah, when we go after Taraweeh, we have another round as well. So 1 round before iftar done, another round after Taraweeh, another round in suhoor as well. So we have plenty of food at home. It's not going to make any difference in your iftar, but wallahi, it will make a big difference when these samosas go to your neighbor's house, inshallah ta'ala. And these are the characters of Rasulullah that we have to revive, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq, inshallah ta'ala. Salatu Taraweeh.